Welcome to the EarthWorks podcast, where our team will share the jargon of carbon with many of the turf friends we've met over the past 35 years.
Hello all, and welcome to the EarthWorks podcast. This week, I'm your host, Jack Higgins, and I've got the pleasure of sitting down coast to coast with Mr. Gage Knudson, the head groundskeeper of LAFC, the Los Angeles Football Club. Gage, welcome.
Thanks, Jack. It's good to be here.
Oh, dude, it's good to have you on. You're a patient guy. It took a while to get this scheduled, and then this is actually second attempt. We failed on bad internet yesterday.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, technology can be a little finicky at times, but we're here and glad we can get started.
You hung in there, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, we get to chat about all things kind of not just athletic field, not just the soccer field that you manage, but like event center, because it's not just the football club's schedule that you have to maintain. It's like all of the entertainment in Los Angeles. It sounds like, dude.
Quite the project here. Yeah, with everything that I do for the club, I oversee the training facility and our training site, as well as our stadium. And we're very busy venue, like you mentioned. I mean, we're doing a little bit of everything.
How many acres is it total that you have?
We're about 5 acres total between both sites.
Yeah, so you got your 2-acre stadium field and another 3-acre. Is it all the same turf type?
Bermuda grass is our main variety. We have Tahoma and Latitude 36 right now as our 2 varieties that we have. But
one on each site.
Yep. So our stadium is going to be Tahoma 31. Our recreational fields or academy fields, those are Tahoma, and then our main field for our first team is Latitude right now.
Okay, so the rec fields and the Latitude field, the training field, are they on the same facility? Same.
Yep, on the same site. Yeah. So where we're located, we're kind of on the site of Cal State LA, which is a local university out here. We share kind of some fields with them, and kind of like I said, our site is on their campus basically.
So I guess the listener is kind of gathering that you and I don't know each other that well. You're of course in LA, I'm out in Jersey. But we have a mutual good friend, Jared Minnick.
Yep.
Yeah, who's been a guest on the podcast several times, and we can thank Jared for kind of turning you on to the EarthWorks products.
Yeah, kind of. I've known Jared going all the way back to my internship with the Red Bulls. So I've had a long kind of saying that's probably been almost 10 years now. I've had a mutual contact with Jared, so it's been good. He's kind of really opened up a lot of things from EarthWorks and even just kind of the event business. Obviously, the grass can take more kind of
grass
things.
Can take more, dude. That's what he says. That's kind of his mantra and slogan, and what he's known for. And he's so right.
Yep.
So accurate. And then, of course, on top of that it's so much more enjoyable than the artificial plastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're kind of a testament to that. Our stadium, for sure. Like we said, we push grass to the absolute limit of what people would think is possible of grass. And like I said, sometimes we're extremely successful. Sometimes it would be less successful. But ultimately, we're kind of always trying to push the boundaries and see how far we can really squeeze the apple, so to speak.
Okay, so you're in the middle of the MLS season, but you're also I know in the kind of thick of your event season, your concert season.
Yep.
So let's kind of chat a typical week here. You said today is concert day.
Correct.
So like give me like maybe a week out from today. What was it like last Friday?
Last Friday, we had we're in a tournament called Leagues Cup, so we had our second game of the group phase.
Now is that like the North American Championship League sort of thing?
Yep. So that's the competition with us and the teams from Mexico, Liga MX. So basically, it's a summer tournament. We compete against their teams, and then ultimately, if you qualify, you can qualify for Champions League and things like that.
Oh,
So
so MLS teams also will play in that European Championship League?
no, not European Champions League. So CONCACAF's Champions League.
Oh,
So
CONCACAF. I've
so
heard
if
of
you
that.
make it out of CONCACAF's Champions League, you make it to Club World Cup, which just happened here about a month ago. So it definitely leads MLS teams into the ability to play in that global competition, which is great for our league and great for all these clubs here as well. So
Well, yeah, you've brought up that we've got like, I mean, I still want to
yep,
hear the schedule, but you've
yep,
brought up that we are in the middle right now, here in North America of like we're going soccer crazy. This is the time.
absolutely. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind the last couple of years, and it's going to continue for the next years in the future as well, where we have World Cup coming here, we have the Olympics, we have I think Women's World Cup as well. So there's tons of events that are ultimately coming here, and it's a great time to kind of jump on the soccer train as it's moving forward. So
Yeah, and great time to be people like yourself and me, right?
absolutely, yep,
Like there's good work for us.
yep, yeah. Job security is great right now. I mean, there's so many teams that are coming in. I mean, you have the NWSL, the Women's League as well. That's rapidly expanding. They're adding second teams into theirs. They're adding academies. So
Well,
def
that's the KC Current, right? Where Jared is now.
absolutely. Yep, yep. They just announced their second team. I know they're building an incredible training facility as well. So definitely women's soccer here in America is on the rise. And it's great to kind of see finally that the women are kind of taking a focal point.
Well, let's put go back to the schedule, but put it in
Absolutely.
light of what we're saying that that it's a good time to be in the business.
Yep.
Grass can take more. These are so a good time to be in the business. Grass can take more, and and lastly, like you said, it's job security. If you have the confidence to say to the administration, yeah, put that on the schedule, we can handle it. Like
Yep.
you get it on the schedule. I understand that this is what's going to bring revenue into the company here, and let me and my crew take care of the rest.
Absolutely. Yes. The business of soccer in America is definitely revenue driven.
Okay.
It's the within the last couple of years, like I said, we started this concert business in about 2019, 2020, coming
Mhm.
right out of COVID. We really wanted to push this concert revenue driving kind of part of the business. It's definitely kind of starting to take a focal point into other teams now that we have kind of at least started to show people it's possible. Obviously, you have to have a lot of foundation in place to be able to do the events that we do. But
Well, you mentioned Red Bull. I think like Red
absolutely,
Bull's a great example of that Red Bull Arena has been there for what, 15 years or so, and they
mhm,
were firm on soccer only. Like
yep,
in fact, like Red Bull only for a while, I think. And now, like you said, I think maybe all of you
yeah,
collectively as an
absolutely,
industry have shown the way of yeah, we can say yes to more stuff.
absolutely. It's a driving force. Obviously, it's additional work. It's additional things that, from a turf and grounds perspective in our industry, it's adds additional pressure and stress on the guys, which is the right statement and for sure. And I think it's a balance at the end of the day if you're trying to balance between um, the revenue aspect and managing fields and managing the usage. It's a challenge at times, but I think ultimately that's where the industry is going. At least in the soccer world, we're definitely kind of pushing like this revenue driven more kind of world. So
Okay, so let's go back to deep dive
absolutely.
on like to talk about how it actually gets done,
Yep.
Like so let's say last Friday or whatever, when was your last home game?
So that would be Friday. So I could take you through our last kind of 10 days where the tournament started, or I can
Sure.
kind of take you through a 7 day of just kind of where we've been.
No, let's do
Either
the
way,
last 10 days because that's going to include some tournament play and some concerts, it sounds like.
yep, that'll kind of, like I said, it takes us through our busy part of the year. So starting on July 29th, we had our first game of Leagues Cup. It was a home game. Then we had Wednesday, which was a prep day as we're kind of recovering the pitch, just kind of
Well,
getting. Go
okay,
ahead.
so back to your prep on on that home game. what's your last kind of agronomy prep? What do you do for normal prep on a game like that?
Yeah, so it's a little different with how we're approaching this game because we're heading into a concert. So for
Okay, well
this one,
that'll people will find this very interesting.
yeah, so heading into this one, we had it's our concert prep. So we had a flushing spray. So
Hmm.
in that spray, we're using um Calflex from Florentine, we're using Kick from your guys's, and then we're
Hmm.
using Pervade. Obviously, we're trying to just pull out our salts from our everything. Obviously, here in Southern California, we have a little bit of a salty soil, salty water. So for us, we're always trying to push those out.
And you have a sand root zone down to a gravel
Absolutely.
layer and
Yep.
drainage and everything. So
Absolutely.
you put that spray down and do you water right behind it?
Yep.
How much water do you would you say?
So we did about a little over an inch and a half, maybe. We try to really flush it out. I mean,
Yeah,
we're here.
that's quite a lot.
Yep.
Those heads are probably running, each head's probably running at least 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, I would say maybe even a little bit more than that. Yeah. So for us, we're definitely trying to flush out as much as we can. Obviously, it depends on the time we have between events and everything. So for this one,
Do you read ECs before and after? Do you notice
we're seeing
difference?
some, yes, we're seeing a little bit of a change out of it. We're tracking, we have SGL pods, so we're using those. We have our moisture meters and everything as well. We use Pogos, so we're obviously trying to just kind of manage our salts the best we can with the technology we have.
Hmm.
So that kind of gets us through. That's kind of the start of our kind of prep as we're going into the concert. That was right after the game. Wednesday's another day. Obviously, we're continuing to water the pitch. We're letting it kind of settle. That leads us into Thursday. Thursday now will be we're getting into our fungicide sprays and kind of continuing to prep the surface.
Well, I imagine that's super important because you're prepping to put a plastic floor down.
Absolutely done. Yep. So for us, it all just depends on the show. Is it a 1 day show? Is it a 2 day show? What's our load in times? But as a general realm for us, we have flooring down anywhere from 60 to 100 hours. It just depends on ultimately the show. So yeah, we have flooring down a very, very long time.
That's a long time. Now,
Very long
now
time.
you have this Tahoma 31, which is a
Yep.
very strong Bermuda grass. But there still must be some serious prep. You like, well, rather like the fungicide you mentioned,
Yep.
the keeping the salts super low going into it, as low as it can be going into it. So I want to hear more on how then you jump out of this.
Yeah, so that kind of gets us in. We have our sprays prepping in. We had a game on Friday. That's after the game. We're doing some more. That's kind of our foliar sprays as we're continuing to prep the surface for
Mhm.
all the stress you're going into. Saturday now, go ahead.
No, that's
Yep.
good. Saturday.
Saturday we go into the flooring. That's when flooring gets laid on the field.
Well,
So this,
I guess a question is post game, like
yep.
did it work? Is or are you strong? Like how are they handling? How's the field handling games?
Good. Yeah, so we wow, this is a whole lot to get into, and this is like a big thing for LAFC. So when we first started this business, we kind of started off with very minimal sod reserve. We use native soil sod. Um, each year, we continue to gather more data and gather more information on how to improve our surface, how to continue to improve. About a year, 2 years ago, we switched over to sod on plastic. That kind of really gave us this competitive edge to be able to handle the usage that we're seeing. So with sod on plastic from a game traffic perspective, no
Game
problem at
changer.
all. Nothing.
Okay.
Yep.
And
So
is that because of the tensile strength that is
absolutely.
gained from, yeah. So as that Tahoma is grown up on plastic, it's essentially root bound, right?
Yep.
So all those roots allow for so much tensile strength.
Yep.
Um, Now how thick is that sod when you lay it down?
We're about an inch and a half, inch and three quarters. It just kind of depends on where we're at on the year for the farm. But ultimately, we're kind of around at least a minimum is inch and a half that we would like.
Yeah, right. So at that thickness and that much root bound, you lay it down and throw the guys on it next day. Like,
Absolutely. Yep. So that's exactly for our business. Like we're always put in these tough positions. So we have to have the grass that's available to play immediately on it. So we've been working with our sod farms to ultimately kind of get us to a point where our sod is lay and play and we can actually do the business of kind of the event business that we do. So
so if
yep,
if the floor's down 100 hours and you're pulling the floor up,
yep,
is there sod work? Are you cutting out sections
yep.
before the next game?
Yeah, so with how our building is designed, we didn't originally, like I said, we didn't originally start with the thought of being a concert venue. So
None of
because
these MLS stadiums did.
they don't, so there's never any storage and there's never tunnel space to ultimately shift this usage around. So
And they're all sunlight.
they,
They're all
yep,
shaded
correct.
by because they did it in this European style, which is great for spectators.
Yep, yep. So they always, all the seats have to be covered. So
Mhm.
it's from, like I said, from a spectator perspective, it's fantastic. I mean, you're in shade, you're in perfect climates, but ultimately from a pitch manager perspective, it makes it challenging from shade and usage and all those things. So for us, how our stadium is built, we have one tunnel that we can access from a, call it a conversion standpoint, which is our northwest tunnel. And then that's one challenge. And then another challenge is because we were way ahead of the game, we built our stage instead of the pieces going back and doing a reverse load, we actually have to load from the front side. So because of that, we have to lay heavy duty flooring on our north 18-yard box. And then basically that's a section that gets resoldered for us after every concert. So we're replacing our north 18-yard box, which is roughly 17,000 square feet
Right.
um, after every show.
Well,
So
that's
for
not
us,
that much, dude.
it
I mean, I know it's a lot because of the work,
is absolutely, it's
but
not.
in
It's ultimately,
reality, it's a third of an acre.
yep. And it's a relatively, if you look at it from a business perspective, if you're only replacing a third of your field, it's you can look at the revenue generation that you can make versus having to replace a full surface. So that's kind of how we have found a way to be called profitable is ultimately is finding ways to recover parts of the pitches and replacing the areas that are deemed necessary to be replacing.
Well,
Uh,
what one thing that jumps out to me that I think it would sounds great is that it's the north end anyway. So
yep.
it's gonna be the weaker end as is.
So unfortunately for our stadium, it's our shade end is actually on our south end of the field.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so we still deal with a shaded end. Like, so if we have concerts during the winter, we have to split our grow lights. We use lighting rigs. We split our lights between our south end and kind of if we're trying to recover. We're kind of growing in of our north end. We're pushing lights to the north end. So that's been another part of the business of how we've done things. Is obviously you have to have the equipment, you have to have the staff, you have to have the budgets. Like one of the big investments our club made is the investment into to grow lights, and that's
Hmm.
definitely been another change. So it's been switching over to solid on plastic, which is a big investment. Using grow light rigs, we had to improve our power in our building. We had to make a big investment there. So there's a lot of things that got us to where we are and what you guys see now. It's been a lot of growing and adapting to the circumstances and what's being set in front of us. But for us, ultimately, we're always trying to just develop the best plan, like focus on the X's and O's of what the event is, what my timelines are, and I'll develop the best plan to ultimately try to recover the pitch the best we can and at least advocate for whatever we need. If it's more sod, more budgets, more staff, like that's where I kind of try to do our part and not get so much bogged down in the event bookings because ultimately, like I can't control the event bookings. I can control what I can control, which is growing grass. So that's what I focus on
Hmm.
and try to focus my attention because if you get too caught up in the event bookings, it's very frustrating because of the timelines we get put in. And I'll explain just as we continue to develop with this just week kind of segment into the look of LAFC. It really kind of shows of we're put in very tight positions and then we kind of always find a way to adapt. And like I said, it's a fun process to kind of figure out this crazy Rubik's cube of the event business. And for sure, it's definitely a lot of growing for sure. So,
So where were we in our 10-day block here?
yep. So we're right at going into flooring episode on Saturday.
Got
So,
it.
like I said, we had the games on Tuesday, Friday. We had our applications as we're prepping the surface. Flooring goes down, heavy duty on the North 18, pedestrian or light duty kind of from the south, for the North 18 all the way to the south end of the
They're
field.
different floors or they're
Abs-
different. Different
Different
thicknesses?
types, yep, different types of flooring. So the heavy duty is meant for forklifts, heavier traffic. Ultimately, this is going to really kind of damage the pitch a lot more. At least for us, what we have noticed is the flooring itself doesn't damage the field. It's
Mm.
more of ultimately it's the repetitive traffic and the heavy weight of equipment. Like
Mm.
we normally see most of our damages and focalized in that northwest corner of the field, basically where all the traffic has to come onto the field.
Mm-hmm.
That part of the grass is always going to be a lot more damaged than what call it our east northeast corner, where there's not as much traffic. Like that part of the field's always in relatively good shape.
Even though it had the same thickness of flooring down, like it's just that line of traffic didn't have to pass
Right.
through. And you know
Yep.
what? That's a great that's a great example of what people see all over,
Yep.
like all over managing turf. Like it's the plant can handle a lot of these abiotic stresses, but it's compounded by wear.
Absolutely.
Compounded by feet and tires.
Yep. Traffic, everything. I mean, it's just as grass is resilient, but like I said, it's the repetitive traffic that ultimately is going to set you back. So, anyways, here we go. We're going into Saturday's flooring episode. Our conversions team, luckily for us, we have a conversions department. So they have two guys that are in charge of converting a whole building, if it's from events, if it's from games, whatever. So
Do
luckily for us,
you interface with those guys,
correct.
or are
Yep.
they on your crew, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we're all part of the operations department as a whole. They
Mhm.
have their own department, which is the conversion side. I have my department, which is the turf and grounds department. So
Mhm.
for us, we have a very good relationship. Obviously, if they're converting on the field, we have a lot of stipulations and protocols of how we want to try to protect the field. But obviously, when you're putting flooring down, it's the process of there's going to be a lot of people on the field as you're laying flooring. You're trying to minimize that. You're trying to just, like I said, continue to advocate for the field and try to explain to them. Luckily, most of our guys have been with us for a couple of years now. So a lot of those conversations now, it's just continue to develop and go.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
Yep. So now we head into show day, which is on Sunday. We had a concert. Um, it was Phil Wickman, popular show, sold out. So that show started at 7:30, ran all the way till about 11. Immediately after the show, the whole conversion starts. So everything's getting tore out of the field, all the delay towers, the front of house, the chairs, the flooring, everything. So when Sunday is done, now it leads us into Monday. By Monday at 10 a.m., all the flooring is completely removed from the field.
Mm-hmm.
So by 10 a.m. Monday, now that leads to my team. That's when we come in.
Yeah, this gets interesting now. So what's the first thing you do?
Yep. So when we're coming in, the first thing is obviously we're gonna inspect the pitch. So we're
Okay.
walking onto the field, just checking for disease, damage, anything that we need to potentially be aware of and voice out. So
Now,
just
what's your typical disease? I mean, that you would see, because I bet it's different than what you would see on the training facility that never goes undercover. Like, because you probably don't have the disease pressure normally in Southern California. You just
yeah.
don't.
Obviously being in Southern California, we don't deal with nearly the amount of humidity as the East Coast. We still deal with it a little bit. One of the main diseases we deal with out here is gray leaf spot. It's a popular one out here.
Oh, geez.
Yep. So that one could be really bad. At
Oh,
our training
gosh.
facility, that's what we have is gray leaf spot is mainly our kind of biggest thing we're dealing with there.
All year round?
Just generally from where are we in now? August. So it'd probably be from June, June to September, October. So just kind of through our warm season for us, which is California is a lot cooler than what you would think. Like being in Southern California, you would expect it to be very hot and sunny. It's
Right.
actually kind of cooler and not wetter, but just a little bit cooler and milder in temperature than what you would expect. So for us, like our summer is doesn't really start until August. Like we're now starting to kind of get to temperatures where it's in the 90s now. The
Interesting.
previous couple of months, it's been pretty cloudy and overcast. So that's when we start to deal with a little bit great leaf spot during those times.
So are you scouting for GLS underneath the floor too when it comes up, or what?
Yeah. So one of the main diseases, like if we don't spray at all, which like I said, we've learned just from being burned a couple times, is Pythium. We can grow Pythium like no one's business. I mean, it's insane the amount of Pythium you can grow if you don't protect yourself under flooring. Um, because obviously we're going to have Bermuda grass, but even if we're in a time of the year where we have overseed, that's when obviously you're going to pick it up is when you have some overseed. But even if we're in Bermuda grass, if you didn't protect yourself, I guarantee you can grow some Pythium.
Yeah, 100 hours under in a space that's only 2 inches high or
Yep.
something, right? Like it's going to be pretty sticky.
Yeah, so luckily for us, we're very aggressive on our pre-application protocol to kind of get us in and through these flooring episodes.
Are you phosphate there too? Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I'd imagine.
So we so now we're kind of I'll go back into Monday now. And this is like we walk the pitch, we check for disease. We didn't have any this time. Didn't really take a whole lot of damage from cable runs, the front of house, delay towers. That's kind of your main areas of what we have seen is the flooring itself, it leaves a little bit of a checkered board imprint into the field just because it's sitting on the field for so long. Generally, we can get that to recover in 7 to 10 days. Just depends on the recovery back end.
Hmm.
The main areas that we see a lot of damage is going to be anything that is sitting on top of the flooring. So cable runs, like the front of house delay towers, that's where you're going to see most of our damage just because it's ultimately preventing the plant from respirating. It just is so hot, it just really starts to yellow the plant a little bit more. So
Oh, very interesting.
yep,
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's again like what we're saying, like tire tracks and everything like that. It's the
yep,
same sort of thing. And it's a soil response as much as it is anything else because
yep,
you mentioned respiration. You
yep,
don't, it's going to prevent that gas exchange.
yep,
Like, and even tires will, or rather traffic will, because it compresses, it
yep,
squeezes it out, and then it takes a while for that space to open up again.
yep.
So okay, interesting. All right, so luckily with this concert you didn't see too much damage out of even a cable run and stuff.
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, flooring was only down for as a complete 50 hours. Obviously, the pedestrian is going to be a little less. I think that was down for about 45 hours. So for
Nice.
us, relatively no really major damage to call out. That
Okay.
leads us right into we vacuum the surface, making sure we didn't miss any screws, bolts, zip ties,
Ooh.
straws. You got to protect the surface, make sure that
And
ultimately
protect your
it's
mowers.
absolutely. So we're using rotaries to kind of help pick any of that debris up. I'd rather break a rotary blade than a real mower blade. So for us, that's how we found a way. Obviously, it's the first is we're going to pick everything out. We have guys that are walking and trying to pick as much as that of that debris as possible off the surface. Then we'll come with rotaries. So obviously, we're trying to protect our equipment, but for us, it's a way to get everything cleaned up. So now, after we have gotten the surface cleaned, we will get a mow on it, just making sure, because obviously under flooring, we put primo down, but it's still going to grow a little bit just because we've created this microclimate
Do
to
do
Bermuda
you
grass.
pull back on, like you mentioned, a foliar spray like
Yep.
as a prep for game, but like you probably pull back on fertility going into a flooring event.
Yeah. So for us, we're pulling back. We're kind of more of trying to just prep the surface for it. So it's a lot of um, like Floridox Pro, Glycofuse, Protein Plus, some citric cycle. Ultimately, we're just trying to prepare the surface, not for the damage we have now, but for the response you need coming out of a
Oh,
flooring
got it.
episode.
Of course. Got
Yeah,
it.
so we're trying to time it for there. Obviously, we're cutting back our granular applications 3 weeks, a month out from flooring episodes just to try to prepare that surface. Like for us, what we have found is the more salts that we have going into a flooring episode, the more damage we take from flooring damage and cable runs. And so that's one thing that we have really noticed is we try to dial back as much as we can, but with the events and all the games that you have, you're obviously trying to just balance everything the best you can and balance the schedule. So
Dude, I love this. This is great stuff. Okay. So the rotaries, you then do put a real mower on it, right?
correct. Yeah. So for this instance, like we have a game the following day. So we're
Okay.
doing all our recovery work on Monday. We have, in this instance, we have a game on Tuesday the
Oh
next
my
day.
gosh.
So for us, we have to get a mower on it. Ideally, if we had the time, I would. Basically, I'm trying to get water back into the surface because we've dried down the field heading into the flooring episode. Now
Hmm.
we're trying to get water back into the plant. So on a normal cadence, if we didn't have a game the next day, it would be we would get water back on the surface. We're going to maybe aerate the surface, just trying to get that airflow and water exchange kind of just to go through the surface. Then we would kind of mow the next day. But in this instance, we didn't have that ability. We're kind of having to get right into prep for our game the next day. So with having a light flooring episode really helped us on the recovery. We can kind of clean the surface, get it prepped, do our sprays, and we're kind of focusing right into game prep now. So for this instance, like I said, game was on Tuesday, so we mowed it. We had a couple of sprays, our kind of post spray. So any fungicide, we'll kind of get some more fungicide out just to make sure we didn't pick anything up. Sometimes we, like I said, you can pick up Pythium or gray leaf spot. It just kind of depends on the pressures we're dealing with. Good.
The sod work, you didn't mention the sod work, I guess.
So for this one, we didn't have the ability, like we were kind of
you didn't have to.
Yeah. So this one was very, very tight because if we were going to do a resod, how this would work is because I don't get the surface till 10 a.m. The portion that I need to cut out until 10 a.m. So it takes us, we do all of our cutouts in house. We have a Coro, we have tractors, any additional equipment, we can rent that. We will cut out our north end. It takes us roughly 4 hours to completely cut out the north end. We have contractors come in that laser level for us. They come in, grade the surface. And then on this instance, because we'd have the game the next day, the sod farm would have to come at 8 o'clock at night because the sod farm is in Coachella, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours from here, but it's the desert. So if we're 90 degrees in LA, they're probably at 110, 120. So
they do it in the night.
In the night. So for us in this instance, we would have to install at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, doing all that overnight, heading into the game the next day. So for us, we really try to minimize the conversion timeline and working with our conversion managers to just make sure like everything was condensed as much as possible because we all knew going in on the back end, we weren't going to be able to do a resod because of the timeline. So a lot of that stuff is communicating with a lot of people in our operations department, a lot of people in the leadership of the club, the team side. There's a lot of facets that need to be aware of kind of these plans that we're doing. We don't want to go into and have any surprises for anyone. We want to make sure that we're ultimately communicating. Everyone's on the same page. Just because of the business that we're in, things can go wrong. And like I said, advocate for yourself, make sure you're fully communicating your plan. And that's what we have done. And we found success in that. So,
but now on this instance, you didn't do the sod work.
We didn't necessarily need to do it. The field looked really good. I mean, I'll send you photos after this, Jack.
Even that 18-yard box on the north end, it looked good where the stage was.
Yep, I'll send you the photos so you can kind of see them.
Cool.
But ultimately, it's a really cool process to kind of see like the surface that I got from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that progression to get us ready for the game. So,
dude, way cool.
In this instance, Monday we did the sprays. We aerated the surface. We do a lot of testing here from surface testing. So we needed to alleviate some compaction in the field. So we did that. So yeah, that's ultimately kind of how we got Monday. And that leads us now into game day, which is Tuesday. Tuesday, the guys got in. We did a lot of prep just to kind of finish mowing the surface, rolling it, painting it, just kind of getting it finally ready for the game. The game was at 7:30. Immediately after the game, we have to get ready for our next concert, which is this weekend we're at now. So immediately after the game, we're having to lower height cups again. We dropped it from we're about a half inch at this point, dropped it down to just above. Where are we at? I think we're at 300s. So we're pretty low there. Just try to cut off as much grass as possible to kind of prevent it from growing into the flooring.
Of course.
Did another spray to get a foliar fungicide out. And then that leads us into Wednesday. Wednesday, we had unveiled one of our big player signings. So that kind of took our Wednesday prep away just because that
they were on the field doing.
Yep. It's one of our LAFC just signed Son Heung-min from Tottenham. It's one of the biggest transfers in MLS history. I think we paid $26 million for this guy. So very big deal for our club, very big deal for the league. So as you would imagine, it prevents us from doing really kind of any prep. So that's what we had to do a lot of our prep kind of on the day before.
Because they did a lot of photo shoot work and stuff on the field.
Yeah. So the player, they announced the press conference at 2, but they had people setting up at around noon and just there's people everywhere. And ultimately, like we can't lower height cuts. You can't really make the surface as ugly as you would like. Trying to get
Sure.
into the
You
show.
were
It's just
trying to scalp it down. You're like, hey, I want to scalp this down.
I
Put
would
a
love to, but you
right,
couldn't. So,
right.
but for that one, that's part of it. You have to work around that additional thing.
Hmm.
Luckily for us, we kind of knew ahead of time, so we prepped and did all that work ahead. That leads us into the flooring episode. So we had another full field flooring Wednesday night. That leads us into Thursday. Thursday, the concert starts to roll in. They're starting to kind of build the stage, build the lay towers and all that stuff. And then Friday, now we're at show day. And this is a week later. And
That is like
show day.
I can't believe that this is like a normal week for you. This is what you're doing for at least 20% of the year is it sounds like it's like this.
Easily. I'd probably say it's maybe even more than that, Jack. I bet uh it's probably closer to almost 50% of the year. It's busy
Oh,
like this. Yeah, so from our building perspective, we do 50 games a year. We have a men's and women's team. So men's team is probably playing closer to 35, 30 games. The women's is closer to the difference. So, and then from a concert perspective, we're doing somewhere between, it just depends on the year, depends on the touring schedule, but anywhere between 10 to 15 shows a year. So
and then like the photo shoot press conference sort of thing, you also do a lot of those sort of like filming events, right?
absolutely, we're in Hollywood, man. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
So
we're a great destination for commercials and filmings and whatever it is. Ultimately, we're so close to Hollywood. It's a cool stadium. So it's always being booked for something. So
it's the
um
right size stadium too, because
yep,
like you don't need too many extras, or I don't know, it just seems to fit. You can get most of it in the shot, that sort of thing.
yep. So it just seems like our stadium continues to be a very popular destination for whatever. It could be a private event, say it's a corporate event, if
Hmm.
it's whatever it is. I know there was one stat at one point that our building is booked on a calendar basis 28 out of every 30 days of a calendar month. So there's something going on. If it's a security check-in, if it's a game, if it's a concert, like
It's
our
something.
building, yep, our building's an event venue,
Now,
100%.
what are your favorite occurrences of seeing the facility in a movie, commercial, TV show? What would people have seen this in?
Uh, been in Master Chef. We've
Master
had, I
Chef, all right.
think, Animal Kingdom. I feel like they've been in our building. There's a bunch of like Capital One commercials,
Love
BMO
it, dude.
commercials. There's
Love it.
um man, it's everything. Like
Right.
artists, we've had big name artists. We've had Guns N' Roses here. We've had Queen. We've had Maroon 5, um, Green Day. Like I said, we're into K-pop now, which is Korean pop. That seems like being here in Southern California, it's a very popular genre. We have EDM, so all
Yeah, you
dance
mentioned the
music.
EDM stuff.
That's another big one here. And then like we have another one that we've picked up recently has been the Mexican country singers, Mexican rappers, hip hop. That kind of has been like a pretty little small niche. What else have we did? We did an Amazon movie premiere. We've done a big boxing. Terrence Crawford fought here last year. So yeah, I mean, it's ultimately for us, it's we'll kind of do any kind of event here. It just ultimately matters of what's it going to generate from a revenue perspective. Like I said, it's a business here, so for us and our kind of how we operate is our conversions team, our building is inept for kind of anything. So like one example is like the Club World Cup. Our team happened to have a chance to make it. We didn't make it through the proper way. We kind of got eliminated, but through kind of one of the teams having multiple ownership, we had an ability to have a playing game. We
Okay.
found out we were going to play a playing game between us and Club America. We found out about this game maybe 2 weeks ahead of time.
Jeez.
Obviously, I kind of told you about our busy building schedule. You never know what's going to happen at the time of the year. Like ultimately, it just kind of depends. We found out 2 weeks, and it's like, hey, Club World Cup is going to happen here. You guys are going to host a playing game. We need you guys to have everything ready.
Can we fit
Luckily,
in?
like I said, luckily our building is very able and ready to kind of face those challenges. When you throw kind of this crazy world game at us and say, hey, we want to throw this at your venue, great, we can. Our building has been doing this for a couple of years now, so we can definitely handle the most crazy challenges. If it's a concert, if it's a game thrown at us 2 weeks, but like I said, it's something that we have grown to. It's not something that you just do overnight and expect to emulate the same success. Like this is something that's been going on for, I've been here for 7 years now, and this has probably been 5 years in the making for us to kind of get to this point.
Well, I mean, you guys should be you should be super proud of yourself, and that like and that you prove it day in and day out that grass can take more, that you can do this. And because I mean, because you don't ignore the foundation of what the place is a soccer field, and
Yep.
like it needs to play well as a soccer field. And if it were plastic, you wouldn't be able to build on top of a foundation of plastic because no one would like playing there.
Absolutely.
The team wouldn't be successful. No one would
Nope.
like playing. You wouldn't sign a $26 million a year guy
Nope.
to a plastic field.
Absolutely. So that's what it is. It's ultimately like our team side wants to play on grass. Like this is
Yes.
something that's extremely important for our players, for the club. The club wants to keep grass in the venue.
Hmm.
And that's why we found a way. And one of the ways, like I said, it's continuing to manage the surface, but it's managing the soil as well. You can't just do everything we're doing just by throwing grass down. It's you still got to grow it in throughout the year. And for us, like I said, our way to find success is we do a field every year, but you still have to manage that field throughout the whole season of what it is. So for us, it's a lot of work, but it's been a very rewarding process to kind of see how far we can really push it and how cool it's been to kind of be a part of this. And
Well, that's great, Gage. Dude, so just now, just so before we get going here, you say
yep.
the floors on the field right now, is this going to be a long one, a short one?
Yeah, so we have 2 nights of this show. This is a Friday, Saturday show.
And who is it?
It's a Tees, which is a K-pop band.
K-pop. All right.
Hey,
Hey, they're paying the
yeah,
bills, baby.
hey, we'll take it.
Yep.
But for this one, we actually go from concert to concert for this one. So the heavy duty flooring will stay down, but the
Uh-huh.
pedestrian, because we're going to recover that side of the pitch, that portion will get picked up on Sunday. That'll stay uncovered from Sunday to Thursday night. We'll do all the recovery work, basically kind of everything we said before, checking the surface, sprays, aerating, anything we need to just kind of prep that surface. Then we go back into the next flooring episode on Thursday, which the pedestrian goes back in for a show that will happen on Saturday.
Okay, so it sounds like Saturday night or Sunday night, it's definitely going to be sod time on that north end.
Yep. So that'll take us to August 17th. We'll cut out on August 17th, install on Monday the 18th, and then we'll have to get the surface ready. We have a game on the 21st. Luckily,
Holy
where
cow.
this is going, yeah. So after all these events and everything, the surface is ready for a replacement. So heading in, we have a game on the 21st we have to get ready for. And immediately after that, we'll do our full field resod and our reset of the field and kind of get us back over to where we were last August, which would be a brand new field. And
So has it been about a full calendar year of this existing field?
yep, this field has been here for about a year. And this
What?
field itself has had just soccer usage. It's been about 60 soccer related usages and 8 concerts on it already.
Wow.
Now we're kind of getting to the point where the shows are compounding on us at this point. We're at a point where we have a full slew of concerts coming up from September to November. So we have to get the surface ready. And ultimately, we're at a point where we need to replace the surface. And that's what we're going to do on the 22nd of August. So
Now on the 22nd, that full field resod, is that all plastic grown as well? Or so okay.
yep. So that'll be sod on plastic. It will come in at about 1.5 inches.
Okay, yeah. So full field sod on plastic. Wow. The
So that'll
farm,
get us go ahead. So that'll get us reset. And then our following game after this full field reset will be the 31st of August. We have a doubleheader, 31st and the 1st. So
is the farm
lot of
growing more sod on plastic is it growing sod on plastic for other teams besides you, do you think?
Yeah, I know for sure they are. So for us, with the amount of events that we do, we obviously have to have a contract with them. We can't just expect them to have whatever we need. So we have a contracted basis with them, but there's a few other teams here in Southern California that that have made the switch to sod on plastic or made that investment into it. But for us, I think the cost is a little bit high, but I think ultimately the product that you're getting is worth every dollar you're going to spend. So, like I said, for us, we found a way to be successful with it. That's one part of it. Everything else is our technology, our program we're on. So everything that is not just the sod, it's everything coming together and making this crazy thing happen.
Well, so you mentioned Protein Plus. I heard you mention Kick.
Yep.
What other kind of EarthWorks products do you use?
Yep. So we're using more granular. So we're 545, 333, 822, kind of all the granulars that you guys have.
That's right.
Yep. We're on the liquid program pretty heavily as well. Obviously, we're doing our flushing spray with Kick. We use C3, BioVantage. We're kind of using a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you are. Those liquid products are something. They're all special, but those liquid products are something special, dude. It's C3, BioVantage, like you're saying, a lot of that biological response that helps keep that respiration up as much as it can, in spite of all the compaction and all the wear.
Yep. So normally a lot of the EarthWorks products are kind of in a lot of our prep sprays for post and pre and obviously throughout the year as well, but we're pretty heavy with C3 and BioVantage before and after, just kind of, like I said, trying to just prepare that surface and have it ready to kind of go and have the microbiology kind of going and working for us.
That's kind of a good 1-2 punch on like both above the ground and below the ground. That BioVantage is like very good at that rhizobacteria getting down into the root zone, and C3 gets an enormous amount of biological response from the top down as well, so yeah, man. Oh, well, that's excellent. Gage, you were so kind in and generous in your time and also like in your explanation of how all this works, and I think like a lot of those insights will help turf managers that have to host events and put on stuff, both on the golf side, everything in sports, like because just the outlook of saying, hey, we are in the entertainment business. That's what we do. So like we've got to, and we can't say no. We're not in the aesthetics business. We are in the entertainment business. We can't say no because you're gonna dirty it up. No, it's we have to host and we have to prepare and recover the plant to do that.
Yep, absolutely. That's LAFC in a nutshell.
It's what you're getting done, dude. Well, Gage, thank you so much.
I appreciate it, Jack. It's been fun. Hopefully, it's been insightful to get a little view into the crazy world of LAFC. And it's a pleasure to kind of finally meet you, Jack. It's great to kind of connect with you.
Yeah, this is great. And you and I are going to stay in touch. I'll be eager to hear how you do with the full field sod job and prepping for, what's going to sounds like a pretty busy fall season as well.
Yep, we'll be in touch.
All right, Gage. Well, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the EarthWorks podcast.
Thanks, Jack.